Food. It's the basic reason we work. Yes, we seem to become more urbanized every year. But most of our food still comes from agriculture. Agriculture is in our history and in our blood. India is the world's second largest producer of wheat, rice and sugarcane. India is the world's second largest harvester of fruits and vegetables. Indian vegetables account for 8.6% of global production, while Indian fruits account for 10.9% of global production. Despite India's impressive global ranking in terms of food output, India is still the world's hunger capital. 27% of the world's underfed and undernourished people are in India. And the gap between demand and supply will keep increasing. Because on the one hand, you have population growth, income growth, urbanization driving the demand for food. On the other hand, you have climate change, stressed natural resources, and poor information management constraining the supply of food. If we want to increase our food output, we will require new technologies that can boost the quantity and quality of our agricultural yields, cut agricultural waste, and make our farmers and crops more resistant to climate change. In fact, the International Food Supply Research Institute estimates that farming technology alone can boost yields by 67% and cut prices in half by the year 2050. I'm Manvi Dhillon and you're watching DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. And today we're on a quest for zero crop failure. Joining me now is Professor Y.K. Alag, a man who needs little introduction. I'm going to put it simply, a man who's devoted his entire life to Indian agriculture, noted economist, played a huge role in policy making as well. Professor Alag, thank you very much for joining us. If you had to reflect on the state of Indian agriculture today, whether it's production challenges, whether it's technology, whether it's soil conditions, anything for that matter, what would you list as, key features of Indian agriculture today?
The challenge is changing. It's no longer gahu and chawal. It is now the Engels' law, which is that the growth of demand for non-grains is double that of grains, and of non-crop-based agriculture is even higher. So agriculture just doesn't mean crops, it also means animals, it means fish.
Okay, so two different directions you've set me off on. Let's talk about, whether or not we should still keep our eye firmly on grain. You're saying that's not where the story is any longer?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, listen, you have done it many times. If you give him a proper price, and the technology is pretty well known, he gives you as much of grain as you want. So we need to make those quantum jumps. Now, eggs, chicken, fish, milk, we are really not producing the cattle on a large enough scale to meet our animal husbandry needs. We are really not putting in enough to see to it that the farmer is able to meet the needs of going to the market. He is willing to do it. That's the big trend. But we have not as yet created the climate with which to do it. And the second thing that she or he is really facing is a shortage of land and water, which their father didn't. Our cropped area has stopped growing. Increase in double cropping will come only if you handle your water better. The area under irrigation is not going up. So he draws out water. And the other challenge is a market challenge. Then means that you have to link up with producers groups. You have to link up with cooperatives. You have to link up with companies which are willing to take a creative stance on this. The point is we need to build up systems which build up collaboration with the private sector at home, with the private sector abroad, but we need to drive it.
When you're standing in a field like this one, 150 kilometers from Bengaluru, the words that come to mind are remote, disconnected, off the grid. It implies that farmers here have no access to information. Timely information can be a lifeline for farmers and agricultural businesses in rural India. For example, imagine if farmers could check market prices and make offers. They could time their harvest and maximize their income. This mobile phone in my hand has the power to do all that and more. And two entrepreneurs from Bengaluru are helping this mobile phone live up to its promise. So now, armed with a mobile phone and a very clever application, farmers and agricultural businesses in rural India have access to timely information at their fingertips. If you want to know how this is unleashing a revolution, just keep watching. Agriculture is the mainstay of India's economy. And in this tiny village near Hassan, close to Bengaluru, it's a lifeline for farmer Rukman and farm manager Anil Kumar. Information is vital to ensure a quality harvest.
ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ರೋಗ ಏನು ಬಂತು, ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಏನು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಯಾವ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ಥರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಈಗ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಇನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
एक डिसीज़ आ गया, कुछ फ्लड की वजह से वो गिर गया, मतलब ख़राब हो गया फील्ड। नर्सरी डालते थे, वो फ्लड की वजह से ज़्यादा बारिश हो की वजह से नर्सरी ख़राब होता था।
Imagine if information was available at a farmer's field. Classmates and now co-founders of a smartphone application, Krishna Kumar and Kunal Prasad are filling a crucial information void with crop-in technology. This application is in use in 14 rural districts in India by farmers and companies engaged in agri-businesses. Describe what crop-in is.
So crop-in is a kind of a marriage between technology and agriculture. It helps you to connect, create a ecosystem where the farmer, the people who are trying to interact with the farmers, with the seed companies or contract farming companies, as well as the management, to keep in the loop, real time, what is the farmer issues, what he's trying to grow, when is the harvest, what are the pest attacks happening in the farm, so that you get a collective information and somebody can take a collective decision how to help the farmer and to get the quality.
Creating farmer profiles, registering a problem on field, and geotagging farms to prevent any loss of crops are some of the key features of the crop-in application.
Once the farmers are registered, they select a crop, like say this is a maize crop which the farmer is doing.
And we've got a sample right here in our hand.
And that's really nice. So once the farmer registers the crop, he selects a particular variety of crop. So what happens is the application smartly attaches a plan to the crop. So that means if you have done a maize crop, that means a package of practice is built for the maize crop, and that get automatically attached to the crop. So you know that from the day you have sown the maize crop, the 5th day what you have to do, the 10th day what you have to do. So there are very critical things which is important in the maize crop, like the germination percentage, what is the first time you have applied fertilizers. So all those details you have, the system automatically generates a list of activities which the farmer has to provide.
Let's get a sense of exactly what a farmer would do, what a field officer would do, and how the information would flow out and then come back to them in terms of advice.
What we tell the farmer is that what you assume is the acreage of this land is actually not true. So what you better do is you go and audit this particular area.
And how do they audit that?
So
Does the Crop-In Technologies app help in the
Yes.
auditing as well?
Correct. So it's a very smart application here. So there's just one click button. You just press area audit and you go to the corner of the plot. You just move around the plot and then you just say calculate area. That's it. And what it does, it smartly calculates, it geotags the entire plot. So from the time you're sowing, so the farmer is registering, the sowing, the seed is gone into the fields. So we know that what the farmer has done.
In a country feeding over 1.2 billion hungry mouths, Crop-In Technology is aiming to be a farmer's best friend with its quest for zero farmer suicides and zero loss of crops. I suppose then you have the conviction that the work that Crop-In Technologies is doing is going to help us move significantly towards the goal of Shunya or zero crop failure?
Yeah, even the Crop-In has the same goal, because we don't want any crop to fail now, because I don't want farmer to take life. That is one of one of our goals. We don't want to see like Indian farmers doing suicides. And what we also promised to this industry is like we are going to bring all the cutting-edge technology in this sector.
For a sector in need of technology, Crop-In seeks to provide the solutions. A powerful innovation that is revolutionizing Indian agriculture acre by acre, simply by changing the way farmers receive information. In one stroke, it eliminates all the risks associated with remoteness, poor connectivity, and long distances. Rice is the staple food for over 65% of the Indian population. India has the largest area under rice production in the world at 44.6 million hectares. But in terms of productivity, India at 3.6 tons per hectare is below the world average of 4.2 tons per hectare. India also lags behind China and Japan. To complicate matters, India is always battling food inflation. This summer, inflation hit a 5-month high, and rice was no exception. Rice production in India gets hit by a whole host of things, including vagaries in nature, poor irrigation facilities, insects, and diseases. Despite these challenges, India must increase production by 2 million tons to achieve self-sufficiency in rice. DuPont Pioneer and DuPont Crop Protection have devised two different technologies to boost yields. First, let's take a look at a special hybrid seed that is boosting yields in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Paddy is one of the most important food crops of India. But in spite of the fact that India has the largest area in the world under rice cultivation, it has a poor record when it comes to productivity. In this village of Pure Shuklan Purva in eastern Uttar Pradesh, farmers battle all sorts of odds in the hope of a good harvest.
मैं तो इसमें करीब धान पहले जब ऐसे ही लगाता था तो हमारे लेबर मतलब ऐसे ही लगाया करते थे तो धान अक्सर बीरर हो जाता था, घना नहीं रहता था।
पहले समय देसी धान उगाता था, जैसे कि ये जाया है या नींबुई है, लाल मिट्टी है, सरजू 52 है, 59 है, लेकिन उतनी अच्छी पैदावार नहीं पा रहा था, इतनी मेरा परिवार अच्छी तरह से पालन हो सके।
Coming to the rescue of farmers like Lavlesh and Sri Kumar, DuPont Pioneer has developed the 27P31 hybrid seed. 27P31. What is it for a layperson?
27P31 is the latest hybrid rice that we have developed for the farmers of North and East India. It is a very unique hybrid in the sense that it has the inherent capacity to take much higher population than a normal rice variety would take in the same unit area. So 27P31 can take good amount of water stress both ways, when it is less as well as when it is excess.
What is the beneficial yield for a farmer when he opts for 27P31?
We have seen that farmer earns around 5,000 rupees per acre more in case he grows a hybrid or 27P31.
इसका जो चावल होता है, ये बड़ा महीन भी होता है, मोटा भी होता है, लेकिन खाने में स्वादिष्ट होता है। निरोग है, इसमें कोई भी रोग नहीं लगता, हल्के पानी में कम रासायनिक खाद में अच्छा उत्पादन देता है और करीब करीब ये जो है सामान्य खेती करने पर ये एकड़ में हमारे जो है 28 क्विंटल हो जाता है।
Let's move from a hybrid seed that is boosting yields in eastern Uttar Pradesh to a crop protection technology that is boosting yields in Karnal, Haryana. To guard against the rice crop getting infested from pests, DuPont Crop Protection has developed an insect control product called DuPont Fetera.
There are reports that stem borer causes yield losses anywhere from 30 to 50%, depending on the state and level of infestation of this pest.
Why does India need Fetera in particular?
Wherever rice is grown, you will have stem borer. And across the country, yellow stem borer causes extensive damage if not taken care of. So Fetera was made specifically for India and especially for rice growers.
Okay.
This is a granular formulation. So therefore in rice fields it's very easy to apply by way of broadcasting. So, and Fetera is not only very effective for controlling stem borer, it gives 3 weeks protection to the crop from the stem borer pest.
In what way is it safer than any alternative in the market?
Fetera is applied at 40 grams of active per hectare or 16 grams per acre, whereas the alternatives that are currently being used or are parallelly being used are 750 grams per hectare. And at the same time, the protection is much better, longer in case of Fetera. It's very safe to the beneficial fauna in the fields like frogs and earthworms and other beneficial insects. It's also safer to the applicators. So you will hear a lot of farmers talking about, the applicator getting impacted if they are using any other chemicals, yellowing of hands and things like that. In Fetera, absolutely no problem with any such issues in terms of safety to the applicator or to the cattle and surroundings.
What's the impact of DuPont Fetera been pan-India?
So Fetera today is being used on 6 million acres or 60 lakh acres by about 20 lakh farmers. So in 5 years, that's rapid adoption across the country. Now if you multiply this 6 quintals yield on 60 lakh acres or 2.5 quintals per acre into 60 lakhs, so that's 150 lakh quintals. So it's a huge saving to the farmers. It's not saving, it's additional income to the farmers.
Within a few months of using DuPont Fetera, farmers experienced a difference in their quality of crops.
सबसे पहले रिजल्ट इसका ये था जी कि हमारी धान जो थी वो रोग मुक्त हो गई। एक दफ़ा यूज किया, चैन की नींद सोई। दूसरा, हमारे जो पौधे थे, पहले एक पौधे के अंदर 10 या 15 कल्ले निकलते थे। अब वही ज़मीन है, वही फसल है, अब वो 45 से 50 तक कल्ले निकलते हैं, यानी कि हमारा उत्पादन बढ़ गया।
A lot needs to be done to ensure that Indian farmers get the most out of their paddy fields. And these innovations are a step in the right direction.
Farmers start using such, technologies, and a combination of them, we can surely, further progress in the direction of zero losses.
0 for Pioneer or 0 for 27P31 means a commitment to the farmer that he will have 0 crop failures, as this is more stress tolerant, as this would yield more. So 0 crop failure means higher yields, and higher yields would mean 0 hunger.
I'm going to turn once again to Professor Alag to get a sense from him on whether he thinks digital mobile applications are indeed an important future avenue for Indian agriculture. Professor Alag, I ask you this quite simply. Digital mobile applications in Indian agriculture, are they going to play a critical role going forward, or am I overstating a point?
See, digitalization and computerization is very important, for example, in seeds. It's very important in terms of markets. Markets means what? Communication. Essentially, it is interdisciplinary. It's biotechnology, modern communication, markets.
This show is called The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. How does the concept of Shunya relate to Indian agriculture based on your experience?
You have to define it realistically. Zero doesn't literally mean zero. Then I think it's achievable. Then I would say already some people have achieved it. They have also achieved with the alternative technologies. You know, it's not just the latest technology for harvesting with which you have hardly any loss, or the latest technology of using byproducts, which is a far more important question. But the question is expanding it on a much faster rate. And I think it can be done. But as I said, it's, it uh, depends on the support that you give, the extension that you give, the institutions that you build.
I think what you are underlining is that whether it's technology, it's about the pace of adoption of technology. Whether it's about support, it's about the extent of support. Whether it's about revamping processes, it's again back to scale. How many farmers are you touching in any new initiative that you have? Professor Alag, as always, a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much for your insights.
Thank you.
The challenges that Indian agriculture faces are formidable. It's estimated that 90,000 crore rupees is lost every year due to pest attacks. Yet we've seen one company that's trying to bring those losses down to Shunya. We've also seen an innovation on information management by farmers that's been adopted by 25,000 farmers covering 40,000 acres. Well, that's it on this edition of DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero, a show that celebrates science and innovation, technologies that could secure our future, human ingenuity that could reduce our challenges to zero. Till next week then, goodbye.